August 18th, Anthony Melchiori, you did something special. You did something really interesting. I can't wait to find out more about it.
I'm going to Congress.
Anthony Melchiori, my friend, great to see you here today again on No Vacancy Live. And Anthony, reminds me of that old George Carlin routine. What's the opposite of progress? Congress. You're going to try to change. You're going to try to change that. What's going on with you?
That's so funny. I'm a George Carlin fan. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things from you. I don't know if today, for some reason, I look tired. I don't feel tired. I feel great, actually. But AHOA, we know the great folks at AHOA, and they're probably, between them and AHLA, there's the folks that are really trying to do the best they can for this industry, and they're the folks that lobby for us in Congress. So AHOA asked me to put together a video to talk to Congress. So me and my production team went out to a hotel, the Garden City Hotel. Thank you very much, Garden City, for your beautiful ballroom and allowing us to use it, and for you making us a beautiful lunch. Truly appreciate it. So people, if you're in New York City, go to Garden City Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. So we were able to use their beautiful ballroom, and we did a public service announcement to Congress that we just launched yesterday at 3:00. It went out to all members of Congress, including the White House, the Senate, everywhere. And then we send it to all the media. And what we're going to ask you to do is watch the video and then look at my social media, LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere else that I have social media, and please share this video. I would like this video to be the most shared video in the hospitality industry today, because it is that important. So please watch it and please share it.
And I want you guys to know we're going to run it right now, but we will also be posting it separately on all of our different feeds out there to make it easily shareable for each and every one of you. But Anthony, this video is coming around at the absolute right time, because right now Congress is trying to figure out how to help people in need that have been hurt, have seen their businesses hurt during this COVID epidemic. And you go right to the heart of the issue, really bring a human approach to it. What do you say we watch that video?
Why don't we watch that video?
All right, producer Jeff, let's see it.
I look good.
I'm Anthony Melchiori.
Yeah,
I've been in the hotel and travel business for 30 years. You may have seen me on Hotel Impossible. I get to travel all around our great nation, helping struggling hoteliers turn around their businesses and strive for excellence. The majority of hotels are small businesses. They're not owned by large corporations. The men and women I work with every single day are like the hotel owners at AHOA. They are the engine of America's hospitality industry. But all over America, the COVID pandemic is creating tens of thousands of struggling hoteliers. And I'm just one guy. That's why Congress, I need your help to turn these struggling hotels around so they can make it through this pandemic. I know it's crushing everyone. The economic fallout from COVID-19 is decimating these small businesses. Hotels are a signal industry. They got hit first, and they got hit hard when COVID came to our shores. People simply stopped traveling, especially the corporate traveler. And they probably won't start traveling again until there's a vaccine. No heads in beds means no cash in the register. It's that simple. They're struggling to pay their employees, to pay their mortgages, and to keep their lights on. American hotels are small businesses. They're not the big corporations. They're local businesses owned and operated by your constituents. They create millions of jobs in the communities that you all represent. They need real relief, and they need it now. We're asking you to support a second round of PPP for the hardest hit small businesses, banking relief for commercial properties so hoteliers can make their mortgage payments, and access to the mainstream lending programs for commercial real estate, and more resources for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. With your help, our industry can survive and continue to support our local communities. Thank you for your time.
Wow, what a video. That is unbelievable, Anthony. And I got to tell you, the message was right on target, something people needed to hear. Then I'd like to get into complimenting you about how awesome of a job you did.
Well, my production company is great, and they're the ones who've done my production for 10 years, and they did a great job. So Alex Goldstein, Bruce Klein, thank you very much. But, it's real serious. There's a lot of people that we see in this industry as really strong people that have had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hotels, and never in a day did they ever think they would go backwards and lose everything. And there's people about to lose everything. And
right,
it's not they're going to have a bad day. It's not they're going to lose 3 months, of business. They may lose everything. And so I really felt, once they asked me, really compelled to do it the right way and really to do it with my production company, not just a video.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really important to me. Please share it with everyone. Please, if you're listening to this, do us a favor. Go on my social media or on our social media after we're done here. Glenn's going to post it everywhere. And please share it. That is the most important thing. It has been sent to every single person in Congress. It's been sent to the White House. It's been sent everywhere. This is serious. And, we need to get back. We will get back. We'll be stronger than ever. But there's no reason that everybody can't get back with us. And so it's really important.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And what I really loved about that video, Anthony, is that you showed real Americans that are going to be affected by this. Cuts through all of that clutter, really gets congressional representatives to understand this is not giant multi-billion-dollar businesses. We're talking mom and pop shops that need the government's help, which is why we want every one of you, again, to get out there, share this video, share it directly with your congressional representatives within your community so they can understand the importance of this issue. The more people that share it, the more effective we'll be to reaching our goal of helping hoteliers in this time of need. And Anthony, let me just say, I haven't seen you that passionate in a while. Not to say that you're not passionate on this show every day, but there was something really special about what you did in that video.
That means a lot to me. And my PR company, Brooks Group in New York City, has launched a PR campaign to get me on as many radio shows and TV shows as possible to talk about it. Listen, if they want to send somebody else, they can send anybody. Anybody can go to these shows. I don't need any more exposure, but it's important, and it's the first time I've really I want to get on as many shows as possible to talk about this. Is really important. I'm actually, as we're sitting here, I'm getting things from our PR company saying that we're going to get tomorrow. So it is critical, and it's critical for one reason only. This country has been built on small business. It's been built on Americans and immigrants coming to this country and building this country. And this industry is one of the greatest examples of small businesses growing into the second largest industry in our country. Travel and tourism is the second largest industry in our country. Right now in New York City, 95% of employees are unemployed. When this started, 70% of Americans that were in the hotel business in hospitality, 70% were unemployed. Now we're at 50% unemployed.
Yes.
The $600,000 went away. People are getting scared. And these people will live in paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. They're getting scared. No longer are they going to be able to forego their rent and their mortgages. They're going to be called on that. And the 600 stimulus is going away, which whether you agree or disagree with it, the fact is it's going away. So we need to get people back to work. When you have 50 states and all states are doing it differently, you can't travel. I can't go to Vegas, can't go to California, can't go to Florida. So all these people are impacted. So you're taking the money away, but you're also impacting them by not being able to travel because a lot of states are not doing it correctly. So the small businesses are suffering. We saw Harris Rosen on here and how sad he was about having to close his hotels. I think he's opening them one or two again. So anyway, it's a very important video. It's probably, for me, the most important thing I've ever done in my career.
Wow. And it was a phenomenal job. So please share that video. And if you're listening to the audio stream of this podcast, you can find that the video version of that on all of our social media sites. And for that matter, if you're not listening to the audio version, why not take a minute and subscribe to Checking In with Anthony and Glenn feed or the No Vacancy feed? Yeah.
Colleen said something. I'm going to address this because I've been asked this a million times.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time since I've been on TV, people who like me, they say, hey, you want to run for president, I have no, obviously, ambitions to run for president, but I'll be honest with you. If I did and my situation was differently, I would. And I would run for some kind of office. I think it is so important with my military background, with my business background, and just my passion of getting shit done. I would be afraid to run for office because I'd be afraid I would just get the life sucked out of me, because I don't think, I think government can do that. On the other hand, it's nice when people say that, and I appreciate it. At first, I always took it as a joke. I actually took it as a joke until today. And then I realized a lot of people have asked, and it's a privilege to be asked to do something, to run for any kind of office, even a councilman's office. I just don't think I have I don't think I have the personality for it. I think I would be in a lot of trouble real quick, because I think you're not allowed to threaten other senators if they don't do what you want to do.
I don't know. That seems to be de rigueur these days.
Yeah,
I got to tell you.
I have a little, like, at the end of the day, we all know what to do. That's the right thing to do. In the beginning of this, I understood that we didn't know what to do. Throw the $600 out there. Throw this out there. Throw that. Just let's throw money at the problem. Let's get people, make sure that they, they're afraid they're going to get the disease, but they're also afraid they're going to get evicted. Let's take care of everyone. Do it. So that was an emergency, and I understood it. But now we understand what's happening. We see it. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. But right now, we can make really good decisions. We can make really good. We can really help. And we're not looking for a bailout. People are using the word bailout. Nobody wants a bailout. People want support. Okay. Matter of fact, I don't want a bailout. That's not what anybody's asking for. We want support. And that's what we're asking for.
Right. Just for the tools that are needed for us to find success once again. So I think enough's been said on that. Let's get the reaction to that video from someone who's actually suffered in this time. The wonderful, incredible Shannon McCallum, formerly of ARIA. And now
we bring her on. We're both fanboys of Shannon. Shannon ran the ARIA for a long time, and she worked in MGM, and we actually had her on the show before. We both love her to death. She's one of the greatest executives we've ever met. And so all the fanboying is over. No more fanboying. Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Except I love her to death, and the afterlife too. So I'll fanboy a little bit more than you. All right. Let's bring her in. Shannon McCallum, so great to see you here today. For those of you who don't know, don't worry, Shannon's picked herself up. She's got a number of jobs right now within the tech community, and she also happens to be the chair of the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association Foundation. So congratulations on doing good work through that organization. Welcome to the show. What did you think of the message in that video, Shannon?
Well, I can't thank you enough for using your voice, Anthony, in order to be able to champion the hotel industry. As you know, I'm in Las Vegas, and, hospitality is the #1 industry in the state. So there's a lot of people that are still hurting. And although Las Vegas is starting to come back, there still are a number of hotels that aren't open, and there's a number of employees that aren't working. So it's so important.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite hotels in Vegas is not open. The Nomad, right? It hasn't opened yet, right?
No, Park MGM remains closed. Although Mirage is reopening this weekend, I believe.
On the 27th, correct.
On 27th, so next week.
I'll know life is back when Lady Gaga and Brian Newman are playing the Park MGM, and I'm hanging out with Brian Newman playing blackjack or poker or having a drink. That's when I'll know things are. I had my best trip to Vegas, my last trip to Vegas in February with Glenn, and Brian Newman was there, and I just had the best time with the chair. And I literally got on the plane going, I've been to Vegas 100 times. Like, that was the best Vegas trip I've ever had in my life. It was like a grown-up Vegas trip. It was like, we had nice dinners. We went to nice shows. We gambled a little bit. I actually worked, but it was fun. And you were a big part of that. So thank you very much. And so now, you left the big hotel business in Vegas. And now what are you doing exactly? You're working on several different projects.
Gosh, I didn't realize I was going to be so busy. And I think when we work in hotels, we're so focused on what we're doing 24/7 that our priorities are a little bit different. And, having COVID hit and having my life change, of course, was a big shift for me. Mm-hmm. And I thought, maybe I'll take a few months off and really, reprioritize, clean out old closets, do all the things that I pushed off for a rainy day. And I have to say that things shifted very quickly for me. so thrilled to be working with the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association. I spent over 7 years on the executive board for the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association, working with Diane Gandy, who's the president. And they honored me by asking me to be the chair of the foundation for NHLA, which I was just so thrilled to accept. And to be able to give back to the industry at this time, I think that there's no better timing in order to be able to use my energy to help any way I can for the industry within the state.
Well, that's pretty incredible that you've been through an upheaval in your career and you're looking to help others right now. That's, again, a testament to you.
But you know what? The reason the phone rang and she wasn't putting a resume out there and she didn't have time to clean out her closets is because she's a rock star. And I'm not saying that as your friend or even a fan of yours, but it's true. You did all the little things. You did all the little things that make the big things easy. You listened to people. You paid attention. You treated people with respect. You showed up on time. You hit the mark of being a good, forget about leader, being a good employee. You did the right things. You did a little bit more. You were on the association. You every day you were putting things on LinkedIn, talking about the industry and how great Vegas is. And you just suck people in. And then so when you're in a situation where you want to clean out your closets, we're not going to let you clean out your closets. You're too important for the business and the industry for you to be cleaning out closets.
Well, and I do feel very fortunate to have also been involved in technology. My time at ARIA, of course, ARIA was a very technology forward property, which encouraged me to get involved with HFTP and High Tech, which is the largest technology conference in North America. And the last 3 years, I've been on the Educational Advisory Committee and meeting a lot of new vendors. So in addition to the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association, I'm currently working with 4 different vendors. A few of them are technology startups, which is really exciting at this time, especially with all of the changes in hotels and touchless and contactless being so important as we move through COVID.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So it's only a natural that you would go board all these technology companies because ARIA has always been such a tech-focused hotel. And in fact, when you first opened about 10 years ago now, was the first rooms that were open to the everyman that had so many automated features to it. And I absolutely fell in love with that system. And that property has continued to outdo itself time and time again with technology. So now you're involved in some of these technology startups. So what are you talking to them about in this weird period of time trying to get technology companies started during a time that none of us have ever experienced before?
Well, the vendors that I'm working with are all extremely different. The first vendor that I started working with is RoomDex, and it's a startup that's really trying to push the generation of revenue. And of course, when occupancy levels are down, generating more revenue per room is really important. So upsells prior to the guest arriving, into suites, early check-in, late checkout, and automating that process because there's a lot of labor that goes into managing the manual process of providing suites and setting rates. So that's the first vendor. And actually, Yash Shapp, who I've known for years, approached me in April. And because of how busy I was, I initially was like, oh, I just don't know whether this is good timing. But who knew several weeks later that, I was going to have a lot of free time on my hands to be able to help him out. So that's been really fascinating. And I'm excited for his company as it starts to launch. Secondarily, through my work with Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association, I came in contact with Volan Technology. And in the last few years, especially with the culinary union, the need for panic alarms has been significant and really focusing on the safety and security of employees in the workplace and that work in remote areas like room attendants, massage therapists that go into rooms for services. And so I've seen a multitude of different companies that are in the market. What was really extremely unique with Volan Technology is the amount of detail that they have on their device. It's not just a one button push, but it actually tells the type of emergency. And then it also is able to track COVID. And right now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but some of the properties in Las Vegas, due to the size, are using 40 people for contact tracing. And due to the geopositioning of this technology with a push of a button that can go back 30 days and see who are the most exposed people.
Wow.
By proximity, by frequency, by just the longevity in a room, to be able to give a gradient of risk to each individual, and it really saves so much time. So really excited about this technology because I haven't seen anything like that before.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't even know that technology existed.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let's back up a little bit. How is Vegas right now? How are the cases? How is the business? Do you see any meetings, any small conventions? Do you see any shows? Tell me, because again, I threaten to go every day, but I'd have to quarantine.
He does a lot of threatening.
Yeah. So what does it look like?
So Vegas opened up at the beginning of June, and I think initially the opening up didn't have as many restrictions on guest behavior.
Right.
All of the employees were wearing masks, and actually my husband and I made a decision to go down and stay on the Strip for Father's Day, so third week in June, just because I wanted to see for my own eyes really what was happening and how busy the properties were, and because there was a lot in the media about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really shocked because although all of the employees had to wear masks, only about 10 to 20% of the guests that were there were actually wearing masks. It was like they were pretending that the pandemic didn't exist. And of course, that's a huge risk to employees that are in the workplace and not protected. However, I do have to say I was very impressed with the properties on the Strip and the work that's been done in order to safeguard the guest experience. Sitting at restaurants and booths where there's plexiglass around you to protect your experience. And, at check-in areas. And so there really has been so much done, even up into going into your guest room and having hand sanitizer and, little devices to press the buttons in the elevator and, the indications on the floor of where to stand and maximum capacities. So I do think that the properties tried their best when everything first opened. However, the mandatory mask guidelines that came into place later in June, I think really assisted the city. However, that being said, of course, like many areas in the United States, we've had an increase in the number of cases. So, the community is working very hard in order to be able to mitigate that risk. And there's a lot of employees that are in the casino that are specifically watching to make sure the guidelines are being followed in order to safeguard that experience.
That's good. Are the police officers wearing masks inside now? Because I happen to be there reporting on the reopening of Vegas, and I was very impressed by what Bellagio was doing, for example. And the only people of authority I didn't see wearing masks were those employed by the Las Vegas Police Department. I assume that's changed at this point, though.
I haven't noticed that myself, and since June, I haven't been spending a lot of time on the Strip.
I understand.
So I can't speak for the Las Vegas Police Department.
I do want to say all the MGM employees had on masks. The only ones that I saw didn't have masks were those from the police department. Since some of the hotels were trying to allow people to enjoy their experience the way they wanted, I think that led to a lot of people not wearing masks. That issue has been cleared up. I just say all this because I encourage people to go to Las Vegas and give you guys some support out there. Anthony?
If you look at the cases, I was just looking at the case where you were talking, you're basically at the same amount of cases you were in June. So it went up a little bit. It went up like 800. It's down to 300 with tens of thousands of people. It didn't go like California and Florida and Arizona. You guys were really, even when things started to spike up a little bit, you guys were in control of it. And I think that's the most important thing. When we had John Flynn on, and John Flynn told us all the things that he was doing, I was very impressed with everything he was doing. And
John was charged with creating the protocols and implementing them for all of MGM properties around the world.
Yeah, and I knew that everyone's going to be asked to wear a mask, but you couldn't enforce it. And I think I said on the show, if I didn't, maybe I said privately to Glenn, that they're going to need a regulation to enforce that, because that is going to be a big problem. And thank God they do. So now if I go to a casino, I have to wear a mask, correct?
Correct. Yes. Every public area, whether it's a restaurant on the Strip or off, you have to wear a mask. Every store, you have to wear a mask. So it makes me feel more comfortable and knowing that we're protecting each other.
Yeah, me and my friend here went to a Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, and we did a show from there, and we wore masks, and it wasn't even a thought. I was like, we wore a mask, was fine. And we actually went to the bar because the bar was open, and we were in an area that was a little too tight for my comfort. So I just literally put my mask on, And every time I took a drink, I just stepped away and took a drink and came back. It was just made me comfortable. So I'm uncomfortable when people aren't mandated to wear a mask, because right now everybody should be mandated to wear the mask. And when we get out of this, of course we don't want to wear a mask. But like people say all the time, it's like you're mandated to wear a seatbelt. Why can't you be mandated to wear a mask? So
I think the hardest part is really the pool area. I know that that's been a struggle because people in their mind think that they're outside. They shouldn't have to wear a mask. It's uncomfortable because it's hot. I mean, we're 114 degrees here this week. So wearing a mask outside of the pool, I know, has been a struggle, and really trying to stay on top of it.
Even in the pool, you have to wear a mask?
Wherever there's people around you at the pool, the masks are mandatory, and it's the only way to be able to keep everyone safe. And I know that the city of Las Vegas and the health department is really focused on making sure that the properties are maintaining those mandates.
Yeah, I tell you, I was in a place recently, and it was the first time my wife had gone. She hasn't really gone out, and we went to this place out on the water. And when we were there, the liquor authority came and inspected, make sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. And the owner was talking to me at the table. He's a friend of mine, and he goes, "I'll be right back." He went, he dealt with him, came back, and they go, "How'd that go?" He goes, "Everything's fine." And he goes, "They come in almost every day, a couple of times a week." He goes, and they're so diligent. I wouldn't have brought my wife's nervous about it, so I wouldn't have brought her. And they were great. Everybody's wearing a mask. When you walk to the table, you take your mask off and you have dinner, and everybody's wearing them. Voices right now, it's like, well, you wear a mask, can't work. No. Wear a mask. Let's go back to work. Let's travel. Let's go to Vegas. Let's go to Florida. Just wear a mask.
Right. I got to tell you, not a big deal. At first, it was uncomfortable. Not a big deal. I'm used to it. I'm starting to feel like when I'm not wearing it at home, it starts to feel weird because I've grown so accustomed to it.
I personally don't like wearing it. I hate it. I take it off as soon as I can, as soon as I'm free, but I wear it everywhere. I have to wear it because I want to feel safe. But no, I mean, I don't like being outside wearing the mask talking to my friend, but you have to wear it. And the one thing I don't like is like if I'm talking to someone and we're having dinner. That's I've had a lot of them, but like, and you're like 8 feet away, and we have a lot to take our masks off. Like, I don't like the dangling mask. I'm like, just take it off, so I don't think about it. Like, just take it off at dinner. Like, I don't want to see your dangling mask. Anyway, so getting back to technology, what do you think that what are clients looking for right now? Everybody, like somebody just was talking about somewhere I was reading that I could teach you how to forecast during COVID, and I literally wanted to say, why don't you walk to the moon backwards? Okay, you're going to teach me how to forecast during COVID. Okay, good luck and God bless you. But what are hoteliers looking at right now when it comes to technology? What's the number one thing that everybody's asking for?
And what's the number one thing they should be asking for?
That's a good question.
Well, I think some of the hotels that have really put off getting contactless technology are really now feeling the pressure because it's now becoming a standard. And many hotels have had mobile check-in for years, but it hasn't necessarily been heavily used. But you do see a shift now of the guests wanting to avoid any areas where they have to stand in line with groups of people. So really the mobile check-in, the being able to, even the text for service, also driving revenue, just like we were talking about earlier for the hotels. How can we drive more revenue when occupancies are lower? Because Las Vegas, as you know, is a big convention market. Sunday through Thursday, that's really when the conventions are there. And then the weekend is when the casino, leisure, transient come. So having that gap in that guest not being there and having occupancies being a lot lower, how much money are we driving per room in order to be able to maximize the revenue optimization for the property? So that's another area as well, but really contactless. I've also seen the QR codes for menus so that you don't have to hold menus and people are using their phones to decide what they're going to eat, which is fantastic. And I've seen that out at the pool as well for beverage service. And these are changes that I feel like are going to stay as we move ahead. And if there is an immunization or a vaccine for COVID, we still may be doing all of these things because it is very convenient.
Well, these trends are definitely going to stay there because they were already, like you said, Shannon, in place beforehand. And as we've been talking about the last 5 months since we started this show, everything going forward is an acceleration of the trends that were in the market already. So if you weren't focused on those trends before, you have to be now, or else you risk falling further behind during this time of crisis.
Even housekeepers not coming into the room every day. That was a trend that was going up. You saw people not disturb. So it seems like everything's going into its natural place from that perspective. And it's actually better for the guest because they have the ability to to basically have it the way they want. The one thing that I was talking about yesterday with the gentleman who's general manager of the Mark Hotel, which just rated the #1 hotel in America, is concierge. I just don't want to see the concierge go away. Like, I don't want to see the technology with the concierge, because I think that is the one touch point that all the other touch points go away. That's the one touch point that you can really make a difference and really build your brand for the hotel.
I do agree with that, Anthony, and I do think that concierge still has a place, and I'm a big proponent of concierge. I at one point was a concierge, so very supportive to that community. I had my keys, Lake Lodore, and it's that wealth of knowledge. But I think what you're going to see is maybe that your more economy style hotels may not have concierge.
Right.
They may revert to some kind of an automated or a touch screen style service for giving information about restaurants and dining tours and activities. However, at those luxury hotels, that really is not something that you can give up. Those are your ambassadors of the hotel that are driving your service level. It's the creme de la creme of the employees that you have, and the knowledge that they have, you can't replace with technology.
I love you said that the creme de la creme, because they're really, to me, I've said this before, they're small business owners. They own that business. Like concierge, they don't really, like, everyone else feels like an employee. When I work with concierge, I feel like I almost work for them. It's like, what do we need to do for the guests? Okay, like, and that has always been stressful for the concierge and the management, because it's like, it's always been different. It's like you want to give them the freedom, but you want to control them. So to me, a great hotel allows concierge a lot of flexibility. What do you miss most about running a big hotel?
I miss the team. I've gone back to Aria since I left in May, and just seeing the public area attendants in the lobby that are cleaning the doors and making sure that the environment's safe. And, they see me, they come up, they start crying. And then it's like, it really tugs on my heartstrings, because it's those relationships that you build with the employees and the team when you're supporting them in their role, taking care of the guests. And then, of course, the guest interaction. As a hotelier, I love taking care of my guests and making sure they had everything they needed. And I've built relationships over the years. And many of them have been reaching out to me just to check on me, see how I'm doing. So that's been really nice to see.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you missed the lack of stress, the lack of sleep, and the high stress level. But I thought you made an interesting point when you were talking about the concierges and the technology, maybe in the less expensive rungs of the hospitality industry. I see artificial intelligence is filling a great gap here. I know Red Lion Hotel Corporation at their property in Anaheim, for example, was utilizing a system as a test to go out brand wide through Blue IP. The whole notion of you just call up, you say, hey, I'm interested in restaurant reservations or whatever, and artificial intelligence can act as that de facto concierge to help steer you to the right direction. Do you think that is the type of technology we'll see spread across the hospitality industry outside the luxury industry?
We're already seeing it, and there's properties within Las Vegas that are using AI. I think that AI has a role, and if someone's just looking for the hours of operation for the pool or restaurants, that is something that it will deliver. On the back end, though, when AI hits a roadblock and they don't understand what the guest wants, then it reverts back to a concierge anyway. So I do feel like the knowledge that concierge have, especially Lake Lodore concierge, you can't replace that with AI. You truly can't, because the worst thing is having the guest get a response that doesn't really mean anything to them, and then they don't use the service.
Right. Yeah, and that would be a terrible thing. Anthony, I know you want to say something.
No, I don't. I don't want to say anything.
Hey,
wow, you guys talk.
That's absolutely amazing. I would have sworn you had the I want to ask a question face on over there. So, Shannon, that's what other technologies do you think that people should be focusing on right now to improve overall hotel operations and increase the ability for profitability without having to add more labor?
That's an interesting question. And I think the technology we've been talking about has been more guest focused than employee focused.
That's right.
And the one thing that I really appreciated with MGM was the ability to have an internal employee communication when things were happening. And unfortunately, people had to be furloughed. And with most of your employees, over 70% of your employees not having a work email, it made it very difficult to be able to communicate with them. It's like text message, WhatsApp, messengers, and having an internal communication platform is critical. And what I'm noticing is there's hotels out there that don't have one. And I think keeping in touch and really keeping your team motivated when they're not at work, keeping them informed is really important. One of the vendors that I'm working with is called Beekeeper, and it's a fantastic platform. Yeah, fantastic platform.
Hold on one second. Austin, if you're out there, it's time for us to do another deal. Drop us a line over here. Sponsor the show. Sorry, Shannon. Go ahead.
But not being able to see your employees and still being able to keep in contact with them and communicate during this crisis is critical. So I would suggest that investing in employee platforms is really important too.
Also, if you start to invest in workflow optimization platforms, you start to save a lot of times. And Anthony and I have talked about this on the show. Take one of those Las Vegas casino resorts, for example. A maintenance person has to come up. They see what the problem is and they go, "Oh, I didn't realize they needed that tool." That could be a 40-minute round trip for them to get that right piece of equipment. By having workflow optimization software, those problems are solved at the root of the issue. So that way that person will come up with the right equipment. That's just one of 1,000 different examples that we could put out there.
And one of our viewers just posted something, and it said he stayed at a hotel.
Sorry, I'm bringing it up.
Sorry,
Jeff.
Do you want to read it?
I stayed at a zero interaction hotel in Zurich in 2005. Everything was automated. Was it efficient? Yes. Was the hotel nice? Yes. Was it pleasant? No. It felt very impersonal and generic. I would never do that again by choice. I did it then because they were having a heat wave in Zurich that year with temps at 34 degrees Celsius. I think that's 100-ish or so. And I needed a room with AC, which is uncommon in that area. I did not enjoy that experience. And I got to say, Shannon, that's something we talk about here on this show all the time. Not using technology to replace meaningful, important interactions between staff and guests. So that's an example too far. And then, of course, having no technology is an example in the other way. How do you figure out what that right mix of technology is to satisfy folks that want to do things on their own without eliminating those critical touch points that help create that emotional interactions that get people to come back time and time again?
Over the years, we've had that conversation many times at ARIA because it was so technology forward, that technology has to be an alternative path. It has to be a choice, and it's providing options to the guest. And that's what we felt luxury was. It wasn't about replacing service or replacing the people, but giving the guest the path that they wanted to choose. And there's certain people that are traveling on business, have been to Vegas 50 times. They don't need an orientation to the hotel. They just want to get their key and go to the room, and they're tired, and then they took a red eye, and they don't want the interaction with the employee. However, you've got your first-time guest who's coming, and they've saved for a year for an anniversary, and they want to know what they need to do, and they need all the help, and they need to find things, and they need to understand what's going on. There has to be availability of employees, and technology can't be a replacement for service.
Yeah, and also everyone wants to feel like a VIP, right? So even if you're in a mid-scale hotel, they don't have a concierge. When you have even 1 or 2 or 3 points of contact with an employee, if they're trained properly, that person feels respected and they feel like a VIP. And like I've said, I think I said it yesterday, that the brand isn't the brand. The person has to basically make you feel the brand. Right? Because we've all been in situations, I've been in hotels and probably in Vegas, where one employee left and all of a sudden the next employee took over, and I'm like, oh, I don't feel the same brand. I don't feel the same connection because that person's no longer there. One of the reasons I love Vegas more than anything is because when I show up, you guys take care of me. And that's a big part of, and listen, I fly all over the world and I've been taken care of all over the world, but nothing like what you've done and what your team's done and how I feel when I'm in Vegas. I feel really special. And every guest, no matter if you're in a mid-scale hotel or a first-class hotel, your 2 or 3 touch points can make you feel that.
Absolutely. And what's really critical is being anticipatory and really thinking about what the guest needs. And your stay should be seamless from the second that you step off the airplane and you're greeted at the airport all the way through until you're stepping back on that plane to head home. And the team all has to be on the same page. They need to have all the tools that they need in order to be able to achieve that. And otherwise, the experience can't come together for the guests. And their whole heart has to be in it. They have to believe in what they're doing and really focus on the small details.
So, Shannon, do you stay in this lane? Are you a technology consultant and you're in charge of the chairperson, or are you going back in the hotels one day? Are you going to open your own hotel? Are you and I going to go into partnerships? What are we doing?
My passion is in hotels. I've been in hotels for over 35 years, as you know my background, and I love that team atmosphere. And
I heard you were born at a Marriott. As a matter of fact,
I wasn't born at a Marriott, but I grew up down the road from a Fairmont property. So nice. Fairmont Hotels is like family to me still. But I'm going to stay in this industry any way that I can, because I do have such a passion for the guest experience, and whether that is running a hotel, which I hope one day down the road I get a chance to do again, because it really is a passion. It's not like work for me.
Right.
And but to be able to support with Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association, or to help vendors be able to provide more options to the work environment that can better the experience for the guests or better the experience for the employees, I'm happy to participate in any way I can.
Well, Shannon, I go back in the hotel business every day. So when you become president of a major company, hire me as your vice president or your Batman or whatever you want to do.
So you were down the road from a Fairmont. Does that mean you're Canadian?
I am Canadian.
Oh,
yes,
what city were you in?
I grew up in British Columbia in a city called Kelowna, and it is about 4 hours northeast of Vancouver, between the coastal and the Rocky Mountain ranges. And it's an all-season city where you get all the seasons. And it's also like Northern California in that it has many cottage wineries. So it's really an amazing place. There's a 90-mile long freshwater lake. So in the summertime, it welcomes a lot of tourism to the city. And in the wintertime, they've got ski hills that are an hour away from the city. So It really is a spectacular place. My family is still all in Canada. And you never know. I mean, that's always an option as well.
What's fascinating, Shannon? You were on the show before. You told him you were from Canada. Before we came on today, you said you were from Canada.
I don't remember that.
He doesn't listen, Shannon.
I'm too busy trying to talk over Anthony. So it's very tough to listen.
No, you did a good job talking over Shannon today.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm working at it. You gotta spread the wealth over there about who you're talking over. But Shannon, I fell in love with Fairmont too at a very early age. Before I even knew I loved the hotel business, my parents used to take me on a summer trip every year, and we'd drive somewhere. And a lot of times we'd wind up Niagara Falls, going into Canada and stuff, and Quebec and Toronto and city of Montreal, and seeing those hotels and seeing how the grand dam nature of them was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite hotels in the world, the Fairmont in Banff. I love that property. It's absolutely incredible. So, all right, Colleen is accusing me of getting old. Yes, I am getting old. AARP will officially be signing me up in just a few more.
I feel like months. Colleen is one of our one of the hosts, right? She's here every day, and we talk about it every day. So Shannon,
she's actually here more than you, Anthony.
She is lately. So Shannon, shameless plug before we wrap this up. How can people get in touch with you? And go ahead.
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. I post once or twice a week, if not more. So, I'm really happy to have anyone reach out to me in regards to the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association. We've got amazing opportunities for vendors who aren't able to travel right now to be able to join the membership in order to talk to and present their products and services to the association and the hoteliers within the city. So please reach out. The website is nvhotels.com. And I look forward to being a part of the recovery of Las Vegas and the state of Nevada.
How long before our first concert in Vegas?
It's looking to be the beginning of next year, so 2021, we hope, and that will depend on what the fall looks like. I mean, these large venues are pretty tough when you look at the size limits for group gatherings. I would say we may have smaller venues, where things are going to start to happen first. So maybe Park Theater or some of the smaller theaters that were in the city. Absinthe, I heard at Caesar's Palace is looking to be able to open up again. Excellent. Of course, they have a small production in a tent, so the size of that audience can be controlled. So I do think that small entertainment venues will have the first opportunity, but large concerts and hockey, which of course, because I'm Canadian and I love, it's going to be a while, unfortunately. But the teams that are at these properties are doing everything they can in order to provide a safe environment for our visitors who are coming in. We get a lot of drive-in traffic from neighboring states. So we're going to continue to take care of those guests, and hopefully we'll see them more frequently.
But I tell you, I saw something we probably all saw at this point, the concert outdoors in, I think it was England, where they had those metal little pods all around the grass. Did you see that? Glenn, did you see that?
I saw it.
You know what I'm talking about? Is Glenn here? Glenn, are you?
No, I'm not here.
Okay.
I was just blown away by Shannon is truly a gem, So I was taken aback by that comment. So sorry about that, Anthony.
But you know what I'm talking about? Those metal pods that were on the concert, in the park. Did you see that, Shannon?
I did, actually. And, someone reached out to me and said, would you go and attend a concert if it was like this? And absolutely. I think we have to get creative in how we're doing things. And we've seen concerts in parking lots, and we've seen drive-in movie theaters and Walmart parking lots. We can continue having entertainment, but we have to think about it differently and how we can incorporate the new restrictions into these experiences.
A person I used to have a show on Travel Channel with me. I became friendly with him, Bert Kreischer. He's a comedian, and he's traveling around the country. He had a lot of gigs, and they changed it to drive-in movie theaters. So he's still doing his comedy, he's still doing these gigs, and he's doing them through drive-in movie theaters. So listen, if I walked in with my mask and there was a pod with me and my family, take off my mask, and somebody else is 8-10 feet away, and I'm outdoors, I'm all in. It looked fantastic.
Yep. Why not?
Like, wow, that's what we should be doing right now. Like, why can't we do that?
Plus, I can finally have space to dance at a concert instead of everybody all stuck up against me.
Listen, I'd even pay a couple extra dollars, like if it costs for that thing to get built, because there's a cost to that. People just want to move, and Glenn hears it from me every single day. And honestly, it's getting worse. Like, I need to go. I need to travel a little bit. I mean, just a little bit. I just need to see an airplane.
Right. Which reminds me.
I agree.
Or drive somewhere at least. Hey, Brian Brennan over at Bagada, give us a call so we could finish up doing our planning for the live show that we want to have by you. Shannon, so great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's so great to see you.
Thank you. We'll hopefully see you again real soon, and we'll continue loving you.
Shannon, you have anytime, every day. If you want to come on every single day and hang out with us, you're
I would love that.
Great.
Thanks so much.
See you later. Bye-bye.
I love you, my friend.
Right. Wow. She's awesome. As always, I encourage everybody in the audience to go check out the Checking In with Anthony and Glenn feed. We had an interview with her back in February when she was running the hotels over at Aria. So go check that out at Checking In with Anthony and Glenn feed. And while you're over there, make sure you subscribe to that feed. Get all of our shows in audio form every single day for, because, we know you're out there exercising. We know you're out there walking the dog. We know you're out there commuting back and forth to work for those of you who are working right now. So please check out the audio feed.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. And I wanted to say something I completely forgot. But please share the video that we're posting today that I have all over my social media. It's a video to Congress. Please, please, please share it. I never ask for anything. I'm asking for you to please share this. It's not for me. I don't have an investment in any hotels right now. It's for our industry. It's to get people back to work. It's to keep these hotels afloat. We cannot lose hotels. Like, we cannot afford to lose hotels. We cannot afford to lose restaurants and bars. And we cannot afford to lose hotels. Hotels, where is a restaurant, is very, very important. It is a want business. A hotel is a need business. You cannot do business in New York City if you don't have a hotel. You cannot do business in Vegas if you do not have a hotel. You cannot travel to Vegas if you don't have a hotel. So restaurants are in danger, bars are in danger, and hotels are in danger. So please help. Please watch my video. Please share the video. Thank you and good night.
And again, we will post this video on all of our social media feeds to make it easily shareable. So please go check that out in about an hour from now after this show ends. Anthony,
right now it's on all my feeds. So you can go to
great.
Facebook.
Just the video itself is there. Great.
Yeah, just the video. It's there. And it's everywhere right now.
All right, beautiful. Well, not everywhere because I haven't posted on my feeds, but I will get to that right away.
So please, and also an update. I know Colleen would like this. Our Hospitality Strong. I just had a meeting a little while ago with one of the executives, and we are now going to start dispersing some of that money, and we'll have some of those people on shortly, and we're going to start dispersing that money. So right now, I think we're up to $10,000 or $11,000. Our goal is $100,000. So if you'd like to donate, please go to GoFundMe Hospitality Strong. I know I asked Colleen to hold off until I started started doing something with the money. So we're starting to do things with the money. We're giving people, grants, and we're really excited about it. And thank you for everyone that has donated. And Colleen would pay a few bucks to watch Glenn dance. We will do that, Colleen, when we need, we need to hit our goal, and there's an X amount of dollars we're looking for. We'll get him to dance because I really don't want to see him dance, but if we need the money, we'll get him to dance.
Nobody wants to see me dance, especially now.
It's donated.
And thank you, Dwayne, for saying we're great. Really appreciate you saying that about us. All right, let's wrap this show up for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow with another great episode. Plus, we're going to have a special episode, it looks like, on Friday with the nation's foremost infectious disease specialist that does not work for the government.
No, that's September, bro. That's not this Friday.
I thought it was this Friday.
No, it's September 4th, I believe. David?
I think that's something else. We'll find out. Stay tuned. We're going to have a special Friday show with that coming right up.
Okay, all right. So maybe
about it.
You're right.
But I don't need to shove it in your face like
I have September something, so I could be wrong. But that's good news. And Thursday, 3:00, go to my Facebook Live. We're going to do another behind the scenes.
So cool.
Possible. And a lot of good stuff coming your way. I can't announce yet, but a lot of good stuff going on.
Great. And I've got no good stuff to announce either. So, hey, we'll stick with that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate it.
We are going to do poker again. David's going to get on that. And also, if you'd like to donate again, that would be wonderful. I truly appreciate that. Colleen, you're insanely wonderful.
All right. David just texted me. September 4th. September 4th is when he will be on. Anthony, you have been vindicated, my friend, and I have been shamed publicly.
And Shannon is from Canada. You know what's amazing? I usually have like an assistant, or I have people that keep me straight. I have to keep you straight. It's like I've become your assistant.
Yeah, right. The one time I forget something. I mean, like literally, this is the first time I've had this sort of thing happen to me. Usually my brain is like a trap. Maybe. Now that I'm hitting 50, maybe that'll change.
Did you get back to Denny with all that information that we talked about yesterday?
I did.
Hey, wow.
Didn't you see that I copied you on that email?
I don't look at emails every day. So
all right. I took care of it within 20 minutes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, hey, you've got one life, so blaze on and